Okay, so in that last video, I kind of left you hanging as far as what you see here. I mean, everything we have here is very accurate. Nothing wrong with it, you know, as far as the actual accuracy of it, I guess. But at the same time, what we need to do is maybe kind of fix this up a little bit, do a little modification, a little bit of formatting of it to get it so we can actually see something, okay? So one of the things that about the project is it's a pretty lengthy project. It's about 3 months, and when you look at the time scale up here, it's done in individual days. But at the same time, there's quite a bit of room that they give you per day. I don't think we really need to have that much room, that much width per day. If I can get that squeezed up a little bit, I can then be able to see more on my screen. That might be a good way there to look at it. So one thing I could do then is I can point to this time scale here, double click it, all right? This pops up, and then what it will do is while we're in here, it doesn't matter which tier you're on, down here in the size, now watch what happens down here on the preview. As I bring that percentage down, look at that, we're getting more and more in there. You can maybe bring it down to somewhere in the vicinity, maybe 45 or 50. I'll bring it to 50, right? Do that, hit OK, a lot more in there. So now, if I go here, you know, so let's say the first task, hit my scroll to task, then I can see that. Now, if I do this, bring it over just a little bit more, and maybe even go as far as saying, well, I really don't need to see the predecessor stuff anymore because I can see it out here. I'm just going to maybe pull this in a little bit and just leave it up right there, maybe double click it, and then bring it over even more, and now I can see a bit more of my project, you know, at a time. All right. The other thing you can do too is we have this timeline up at the top here, and right now what you're looking at is basically just maybe half of it. What we can actually do is take this little border right here and drag it, and as we drag it, it will actually compress the timeline even more to a point where it maybe bring it all the way out to, let's say, here to the very end, to our last date here, right? And you scroll down now, there's the whole project, almost. Probably bring it a little bit more here. There it is, see? So that's pretty wild. So in this expanse right here, you can see all that like that. Now let's say we want to kind of go back to what we had before. What we can actually do is while we're in here, go back here. Oop. All right, so we got, oh, there we go. Okay, so I can pull that back like this, and now you'll see how the time scale comes back to where it was. Almost, there it goes. And then we can just go back and kind of scroll this back over here, double click this again, bring this thing back to about 50, all right? Hit OK, and there we go. So not too bad there, all right? That's one of them. Now you can also change the time scale altogether here. Now right now it has, like on the mid tier here, we have the weekly breakdowns, and then we've got the daily breakdown there, which is okay. Now, if we double click it, all right, then you'll see that on the middle tier that we're on right now, that's set for weeks, and that's the kind of label we're using. And the count of 1 just means that it's doing every week, so it's not like skipping a week, you know, in between, all right? Now, if you were to change that, then obviously if I were to set that to being a count of 2, then it's going to skip the week, and you'll see it kind of like this. It'll say like the week of the 10th, and then it'll be the week of the 24th. I don't know if that really makes a lot of sense. I think if anything, it would be just because you don't want to see this happening so much up at the top there. It doesn't bother me really at all. But the other thing is that maybe I want to keep the weeks there, but as far as the days, what I'd rather maybe see is the actual maybe day number. You know, like is it the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, that type of thing. That's if you wanted to do it. I'm not saying that this is the best thing. So what you can do there is if you go down to the bottom tier, it's set for days. Okay, that's what you see down there, and the label is that. Now what we can do is we can go in there, we can change the label to anything that you see here. I mean, I think it's got everything in there. So what we can actually do is maybe pick this one here, all right? And then maybe give it a little bit more room, like that, see? Then we go ahead and hit OK, and there you go. You got something like that. As I look at it, I say, well, I'd rather really see it as maybe what the day is. You know, is it a Monday, is it a Tuesday, that type of thing. So I'm going to change it back. Now, I could hit undo, but what would we do to do that? We would double click this, all right? We'd go to the bottom tier, just like that, all right? And then we'll go and change the label over here to the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday marker there, right? Hit OK, and there we go. Not too bad. And we could probably go back in there too and bring this down again to maybe about 50, pull in a little bit more width there of our project. All right, so another area we're going to look at is coloring. And I want to go over into the Format tab here. And you're going to notice that we have various, obviously a lot of different tasks in here. Now, I want to kind of explain something. There's a couple different names that fly around as far as how we describe our tasks, and the task could be either what we call critical or non-critical, all right? And when you look at this first phase that we've got here, and you can see how each of the tasks are kind of related to each other, each of them are kind of dependent upon each other, right? What it comes down to is that when you finally get to the very end, you get to this last task, task AD, it kind of ends there, all right? It doesn't drive anything any further. So what ends up happening is that we end up, might have a situation where maybe this task here ends up taking more than 2 days. Let's say we changed it to 5 days. Well, what happens then, because it has nothing to drive, in other words, no task really has it as a predecessor that is related to, this thing will just get longer and longer, but it won't drive the rest of the project. So those tasks that won't affect the project as a whole, for instance, when their duration is changed, all right, then that's referred to a non-critical task. Whereas these here, okay, these tasks here that would eventually drive the whole thing, those are what we call non-critical, or I'm sorry, that's what we call critical. So let's take a look at this, and where we can actually color code them. So we can color code the critical and the non-critical as 2 different colors, then you can see that more clearly. And then see whether or not maybe you made a mistake and maybe this should be connected to something, you know, further down, right? So over here where it says, this is in the Format tab, you go over here to the critical tasks, click onto that, it turns into red what we call the critical tasks, but those tasks that are not going to affect the rest of the project, which are what we call non-critical, those are blue. So as you can see here, as we go further down, how then, you know, these are critical because if these got longer, they would push these tasks here, but technically any of these are what we would call non-critical because they're not driving the project as a whole. I mean, they're in their little realm here driving each other, but this one isn't driving anything, this one isn't driving anything, you know, if it were to become longer or get pushed over, but the rest of them do here. So that's kind of a cool thing, and this too will help you understand your relationships maybe a little bit better, where you might say, well, wait a minute, no, now that I think about it, we can't be doing such and such task until this one is done, right? So that would then tell you then you need to set up a relationship so where when this one gets done, maybe this one here starts or something like that. You'd be able to see that much more clearly, right? That you need to do that. So that's pretty cool. So just setting up this critical and non-critical is, you know, as far as the formatting goes, I think that's a pretty good little tool. Another thing that I can kind of go either way on are the link lines and how they are structured. What they basically do is they basically come out of the right-hand side there, and then they kind of drop down on the top of the next task. And it might not seem, when you're looking at this, it might not look like maybe when this one gets done, this one's driven, but also this is driven. I mean, you can kind of tell that they're getting driven, but I can't really tell too much if really this is getting pushed by the fact of this one being here. Okay, so if we could figure a better way of having this look, visually, then I think that would make a big deal. So in the Format tab, we have something here called Layout, and when you click on the Layout, one of the choices in here are the links, and right now we're currently using this one right here. Well, this one here, a little bit different looking. Let's take a look at this. Let's click onto that, all right? And we'll hit OK and look at that, see? So when this one gets done, it drives both that one and that one. I think it's a lot more clear, seeing it that way, really. So I'm thinking I'm going to keep it like this. I think that's a good one to have there. Another thing too is the height or the thickness of these bars, okay? If you go back into the layout again, you'll see that we've got something here called the bar height. And right now it's set for 12 whatevers, okay? So that's 12, whatever that is, 12 pixels or something. We click onto that, and you can make either a 14, there's 14, or we could even bring it up to, let's say, as high as like 18. I think 18 is a good size there. There you go, like that. Makes it a little bit more dramatic. I mean, you might think, well, maybe 18 is a little too thick. You could always go back in there and change it to 14. But that doesn't really look like much. I like the 18. So there's 18, and then we'll go and hit OK, and there we go. So that looks pretty good. All right. Another thing too is if there are certain Gantt bars or certain tasks here that you want to maybe stand out for whatever reason, all right, we can actually change the color of these things and also add a little dooley-dads to it as well, okay, to either our critical and our non-critical type of bars there. So what we can do here, let's say for this one right here, for AB here, all right, I want to make that bar a little, slightly different, make it stand out, and kind of go from there with it, right? And I'll show you how to add a note to that. So on this one here, what you'll do is you'll go into Format, and then we go here to Format, and we go with just plain old bar, okay? Not bar styles, but just bar. All right, we do that, and it shows you with this little dialog box that there is no starting shape and no ending shape. But in the middle, basically the shape is what you see there. The pattern is just a solid fill, but the color is this, whatever, pink, right? So we click onto that, and you can choose something else. You might say, well, I want to go with maybe yellow, something like that maybe. Then you hit OK on there, and there's yellow. If we want to do something a little bit different, we'll go back in there again to bar, and maybe make that a little bit darker, maybe something like that, and also give it some patterns, something like maybe this here, hit OK, and there you go. Now, if you do something like that, you might also then want to maybe add a note to this, all right? Maybe there's something special about this, whatever it is, right? So what you can do is you can go over here to Task, all right? And go over here to our little note here. Note is called Task Notes. You click onto that, all right? This little window will pop up, and this is where you can put all kinds of notes about what that is, right? So you can do as much as, you can type like this, all right? You can also go over here and add bullets if you wanted to. and then you can continue typing whatever. So you got that. You hit OK, there it is. There's the note. So you got the color, there's a note. Somebody looking at this can say, oh, what's the note? They can point to it, there's a note. If you want to see the full note, fully formatted and everything, you point to that little note tab or note icon there, double click it, boom, there it is. And you can hit OK. When you go to print this out, and I'll show how to do that later on, you can set it up so where your notes will print out as like a end note kind of thing, you know, like in the at the end of the report. Now, if you wanted to maybe change all of the bar colors or bars that are, let's say, the critical bars to some other color and or pattern, you can do that as well as a whole, and do another type of formatting for your non-criticals. All right, so you can do that as well. Now, how do we pull that off? Well, you can just be over here in the Format tab. We go over here to Format, and we go to the bar styles. See, the styles would do the overall. So we click on the bar styles. This comes up. So let's say we wanted to, first of all, do the critical ones. Okay, now if we scroll down this list here, I think toward, oop, that's too far there. Go down towards the bottom here, you will see critical, and there's the description of it. Now, there's the color. Now, so what we do is we just click anywhere on it. Here we have it there. If we want to keep, you know, the same kind of solid fill and all that, we just want to change the color, then all we have to do is just click onto here, right, and find a color. So we might say, well, maybe I'll go with the red here. So I'll click onto that. That's pretty intense. Hit OK. There it is. If that's a little too much, what you can do is go back into Format, go back to your bar styles, get back down to the critical area there, click onto that, and what we'll do for the color, we'll go to More Colors and get, you know, kind of tone this down a little bit. It's a little too saturated. So we'll keep the color, we'll keep it in the same spot there, but we'll get rid of the saturation a little bit and kind of bring it down like that. So bring it maybe to something like that. Might not look much different than what we had originally, but you've got that. If you want to go with a completely different one, you can go with, you know, you can do purple if you wanted to, and kind of do something like that. But I kind of like the red. I just want to get just that exact red that I want. I'll be like right there. That'll be good. So we do that, hit OK. Oh, sorry, hit OK there. And then hit OK. There we go. So that is. Maybe for the non-criticals, what we'll do here, we'll go ahead and go to our bar styles. And this is the non-critical up here. All right. Maybe just give it a little bit more intense of a blue there. Okay, so we'll just go to More Colors here. Pull that down more, get a little bit more blue. Like that. Hit OK. And there we go, and hit OK again. And there you go with the blue. It's a little bit nicer. Now the milestones are also considered to be bars. They're nothing. They're just a diamond, but it's still basically a bar. And what we can do there is maybe change the color on that as well. So we'll go into here. There's our milestone there. That's the color. It's just black. We're going to lighten that up a little bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my More Colors, and then go to my Custom, and kind of do maybe something like that. Hit OK. And I think also too, the color of, so that's, well, actually that's the middle part. That's not going to do anything. I goofed that up. Sorry. I wanted to do this one here. So go to here, More Colors, bring that up, because your milestone has no body. All right, there we go. Hit OK. There it goes. It's solid. That's the shape. That's fine. I mean, you can change the shape to something else if you want. And then once we've done that, we'll go ahead and hit OK. And there it is. A lot less intrusive, I guess. Now for the text color that we have over here on our task list, right now it's pretty much just black, and we've got bolded black as well. But maybe change it from maybe black to maybe a dark blue or whatever. I mean, it's up to you. I'm just showing this to you so I can show you I'm changing something. So to do that now, while we're in the Format tab, you have your text styles. All right. So you click onto there. Pretty much get, I don't want to say the same kind of window, but you get this window here. I'll start with my summary task here. So I'll click up here, and we're going to find summary task. There it is. And right now, this is what it is. It's set for, black, bold, 11, right, for the size, right? We're going to keep the font the way it is, but the back, or not the black background color, we don't want to leave the background, we want the foreground here, so that's going to be the color here, or just where it says automatic. And in here, what we'll do is we'll pick this really dark, let's see which one, maybe this one here. There it is, okay? We'll keep it bold and all that. Hit OK. All right. Might be a little light here, so I think I'm going to go back in there again. Go to my summary task there. We'll find maybe this one here. Yeah, that's a bit better. And then we've got it bolded. We got it at 11. Hit OK, and there it is. That's good. The project summary is this one here. We'll leave that alone. I mean, black is good for that one. And I think I'd like to have the either the critical or the non-critical, either one or both of them. I like to keep those the same color, but I like to make it bold. Okay, so whether they're summary or I'm sorry, if they're critical or not critical, I still want them to be just bold in general, right? So we'll go back in there again, all right, and we'll change. Well, first of all, we'll find the critical task. We'll do that one first, and all we'll do here is we're just going to make it bold, all right, just like that. We'll keep the color black. Hit OK. There we go. And then we'll go back in there again, and now we'll find the non-critical. Okay, we'll make those also bold. Hit OK. That takes care of those. And then for our milestones, we'll go back in there again, and we'll find milestone. There they are. Now this one, what we're going to do is we're going to make this italic, and I think we'll maybe make it bold and italic. We're going to make it light, all right, for the color. So we'll go over here where it says automatic, which is black in this case. We can go with one of these colors here, all right. So maybe something like this here. We'll see what that does for us. Hit OK on that, and there it is on that. Maybe a little bit darker. We'll go back in there again, and we'll go back to our milestone. And for the color, we'll go with this one here. All right. Hit OK. There we go. That looks good. Now, while we're in the area of changing our text and how it looks, you can also change the coloring of our time scale up here. All right. And you can do that also by going into Format, going to your text styles here, right? And we'll go back to here, and we'll find what do you see in there? Well, what this is here, this is what we call the mid or the middle scale, and this is the bottom scale. Okay, so on the middle scale, or the middle tier, as they call it, right? Click onto there, and that's what this is. All right. Now we probably don't want to make it any bigger than what it is, but maybe make it stand out a little bit more. Right now, it looks like well, it says it's set for automatic. All right. But an automatic would be, is black. So if I click onto that, it doesn't look like it changed much. So, but maybe what we should do is maybe make that bold, say. So you just make it bold, and that's it. Hit OK. There you go. Not too bad. That is a little bit, to me, when I keep it like that, it's a little distracting. It kind of pulls my eyes towards it, and I really don't want that. So maybe what we'll do is we'll go back in there to our middle timescale tier there and change it from being black to, again, a little bit lighter, maybe just this one right here even, right? That's not too bad. And we'll hit OK on that. There we go. So I guess it's not much different what we had. It's probably about this, almost the same, really. And again, too, for the bottom one, for that bottom tier, right? Again, we can maybe just make that bold. We'll just leave it like bold. Hit OK, stands out a little bit more. Then I look at it and I say, you know what? Don't like it. You probably think I'm a nut here, right? So I'll just do bottom. But you're probably the same way with this. You know, you get, when you know you've got the tools to make changes, it's pretty neat. So I think that makes it look a little bit better. Just having the top a little slightly different color, bold, I think that makes a difference. Another area we can kind of change around a little bit are the days that we have off. Now, we haven't really talked about this yet. We're going to be talking about it soon. And that is, when you're looking at your Gantt chart here, the gray area, those vertical lines are what we have off. So the calendar for this right now, and we can change the calendar too, but the calendar right now is set up so where we work Monday through Friday, we've got Saturday and Sunday off, and we do that 52 weeks a year. So what it's showing you here in the gray, obviously, are your days off. So if we were to set up the calendar to show that we have Wednesdays off for whatever reason, then we'd end up seeing that going down there as well. So if you want to be able to kind of change this up a little bit, maybe make it just a little bit darker, right? What we can do is we can just kind of point to this area here, double click it. This little window will pop up for the time scale. And it's pretty much the same thing. If we were to double click up there, we would have gotten the same thing. But this took us to the non-working time, which is what we're really talking about here. And right now the color is this very light gray, okay? I'm not quite sure which one. They might have picked a custom one. But I'll just go here and maybe even go as far as maybe picking a different color, maybe like yellow. So we're going to choose yellow, hit OK, then you get something like that. This might end up looking a little gaudy, you know, with all these different colors going on here. But at the same time, it's up to you how you want to do this. Now, I will say that maybe we'll keep this color, but we'll go with maybe something a little bit lighter, all right? So we'll go back up to the color, go back down to more colors, right? And we can actually take this saturation and bring it up and bring it just enough to where you can barely see it there. There's something like that, right? We hit OK on that, hit OK, and there you go. All right? And then you say to yourself, you know what? That's stupid. I don't even like that. I'm going to go back there again, double click it, go to the color, tell automatic color, and now that's even worse, right? So we'll go back to our gray. I think that'll be good right there. So hit OK. There we go. That looks good. Okay, so I think that's it. Hopefully I didn't make this too ugly for all of you to be looking at for the rest of the videos here, but nonetheless, hopefully you can maybe use some of these tools. I appreciate you watching. We're gonna do a few more of these later on. It's just that I don't really want to talk about those because we haven't gotten into other features that would be brought out by that formatting. So I don't want to bring that up ahead of time. So when we get to those areas, then we'll come back into the formatting and I'll show you a little bit of extra of that stuff. But right now, this is good. So I appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care.